Guys, how's it going? Today we're going to install some cable bushings for my clutch and a front pipe. Stay tuned. Okay guys, now to be able to get to the cable bushings, which is the first thing we're going to change, we're going to kind of remove the battery here. And to be able to do that, there's a couple 10mm screws that we're going to have to take off, which is very easy. You have one right here, which removes the negative, one for the positive, and then you have a little bracket here that holds the battery kind of in place. So I just have my little tool here that I'm going to use. I've already loosened them, so it's going to look a lot easier. But you're basically just gonna go in, you're gonna unscrew these as much as you can. You're gonna go in here and screw them as much as you can, and they're gonna come off like this. Okay, nice removed. And then this one, I already did it. For this bolt, I had to use a 10mm wrench to be able to get in there because the pole is a little bit too high. So I'm just gonna go in, remove the nut. Okay, almost there. There we go. And it comes off, then I'm just going to move this to the side. And I'm going to put the nut back on here so it doesn't, so I don't lose it. And I'm just going to put this to the side, I'm just going to put it up here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these a little bit out of the way. Move this a little bit over there. And then there's this plastic filling around that you have to remove from the casing of the battery. It's kind of an insulator. So you just kind of force your way a little bit through it to get off of it there. That's removed. I'll put this down here. And now the battery should completely come off. So just be careful with it. It is heavy. So I'm just gonna lift it up. Oh God, okay, there we go. All right, battery's down. Now if you look a little bit in, there's this plate down here you have to remove. It just comes off, it's just a little plate there. And underneath here we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts. Underneath are the cable bushings, so that's what I'm going to take off next. Okay guys, now that we're in here, there's 4 10mm bolts that we're going to remove. They're right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just going to get in here with our wrench. We're just going to go in here. Now, when I first did it, they were tight, but after a little bit of elbow grease, you loosen them up. You can kind of already see it's already a little bit shaky. I'm just going to go in there and remove it enough so that we can then remove it with our hands. Okay, so that's good enough. So I'm just gonna, and this is just to create enough space for us to work in. Okay, 4, so there we go. So remove that to give us room. And if you look right here, it's kind of hard. These are the cable bushings. You gotta come around here, they're right here. Yes, I see this one right here is the small cable bushing, and that one in there is the bigger one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove them, and then we're gonna install the new ones. Okay guys, so here's the first bushing, it's the smaller one. It was actually a little bit difficult to get out. So basically, you have a little pin, as you can see there at the top, there's a little pin that's on the top. You remove this pin, and then you got to remove this bushing from this ring, and this is where the new one's gonna go. Now I'm gonna try to do this one right here. You basically remove the pin like so. You just got to use maybe a little bit of force, or I used a Phillips here. You remove that, and now we got to try, this will come off just like this, see how it comes off. But now we got to remove this from this gasket here, and it's a little bit difficult. You can't, there's a way to remove this back plate back here, but it was a little bit tough for me. So now I'm just going to kind of go in and trying to fiddle with it to see where I can. Oh, I think I got it right here. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So there, basically I just stuck the Phillips in and pulled up, and then it came out, and that's the other bushing. Perfect. So now these are going to be the 2 places that we're going to replace the new Acuity ones. So stay tuned and we'll get that in. Alright guys, as you can see, here are the old cable bushings. Now we're going to compare them here. These are the new cable bushings from Acuity. As you can see, here are the differences between the two. You can see here the acuity. It's going to give you more of a kind of a notched feel when you change speeds on the manual. It's going to feel more like you're actually in the gear. With these old cable bushings, when you switch gears, it kind of felt like the car was kind of sluggish into the gears. Hopefully with these new cable bushings, it'll feel a little bit more secure when you go into each gear. Okay guys, so now I'm gonna put the first cable bushing in here. We're gonna get right into it. You can see here that the cable, it's pretty easy. We're just gonna go in here. Let me fix my light there a little bit. We're just gonna basically push this in. There we go. I'm gonna push it in as much as you can. Now the tricky part of this is that this ring goes on the bottom. I still got a little bit more to push in. You can see there's a little bit of ring underneath, and that's what we want this bushing to go under. Now it's a little bit difficult to do, but okay, I think we got that one. Nope, almost. There we go. You heard the snap, it goes in. Okay, perfect. And now we're just going to fix this in. There we go. Okay, now I got that one in. Now the very last thing to do is to put this little clip in there. So we're just gonna put it in so that nothing comes off, and that's it. There we go. That's the first one done. Okay, looks like I finally got the bushing in there. Now we're just gonna slide this puppy in. There it goes. And then finally, we got the little clip. Goes in, super easy, boom. And there we go. I switched out my cable bushings. Now that the cable bushings are finally in, I kind of put that black plate that was in there, put the tray. Now all that's left is to put the battery back in, connect it, insulate it with this, and then go for a test drive. So let's do that. Okay guys, now with the new cable bushings, you can definitely feel the difference between the old ones and the new ones. It used to be that when you put the car in gear, the car was a little bit sluggish. The gears to go into gear, you weren't really sure if it went into gear or not. With these new cable bushings, it definitely helps. You can definitely feel a little bit better kind of notch into the gear. Now it's not the biggest difference in the world. It's not going to be night and day, but it is going to feel better when you're changing to the gears. It's definitely going to feel like you're actually in the gear, and there's no going to be, you're not going to feel a little bit sluggish in. There's less grinding. So yeah, in my opinion, totally worth the upgrade. And they're cheap. They're like $70 to $100. I forget how much they were. So definitely worth if you're looking for a better, smoother kind of driving experience. Hey guys, now that we installed the cable bushings, we're going to try to install the front pipe now. Now to be able to do this, there's going to be a lot of steps that we're going to have to go through. The first and obvious step is you need to raise your car, which I already did. I have it on stands. So I'm going to take you underneath the car to show you what clips, because there's going to be a panel that we're going to have to remove to have access to the front pipe, so we can remove the current one so that we can install the new one. I'm going to show you where all the rubber garments are that we have to remove, all the equipment that you're going to need, and kind of where all these clips need to be undone so you can remove that plate. So stay tuned. Alright guys, now to be able to take off these bolts, I highly recommend you use an impact gun. I actually try to do it by hand, and obviously I'm not strong enough to kind of create the pressure that I need to remove these bolts. I highly recommend getting an impact gun and getting one of these longer sockets, because if you have the normal ones, they won't fit, because there's the screw goes in a little bit too far. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go underneath the car now. I'm going to undo the 3 bolts in the front and the 3 bolts in the back, and then I'm going to undo the rubber garment. Okay, so we're going to go underneath the car here, guys. As you can see underneath, there's going to be 2 plates. There's this kind of aluminum one, or kind of really light plastic or metal, and then there's that one back there, which is all plastic. Now that's the one that we need to remove, because in between these two is where the front pipe goes. Now to be able to remove that, there's going to be clips like this little clip here that we're going to have to remove. There's 1, 2, looks like there's a couple more down there that we're going to have to remove, so I'm going to start doing that. And then once I have it all removed, I'll show you what's underneath. All right, so the first one we're gonna remove is this right here. It should be just a simple clip. Just go in, super simple. This is gonna drop. Okay, here goes one. Now we're gonna move over here. There's the second one. Okay, super simple. Okay, we're basically gonna do this around the whole section. There's the second one. And we're basically gonna just go around the edges until we're done. Now these clips here, they're different. They're actual clips, they're not screws or anything like that. So you're just gonna undo them a little bit and then they should just pop out. Like, here we go. This one's stuck like this. So it's just a little clip. You don't twist it all the way, you just kind of turn it halfway and then it comes out. Now finally, in the back, there's these two screws that we're gonna undo. I already started undoing this one. Should be easy. Okay, there we go. And then the last one is here. Now you can kind of see that this is already loose. You can see here it's kind of gripped together here. So I just need to remove this. Okay, there we go. Put these to the side, and now it should just pop out just like that. Okay. All right. Now you can kind of see this is the original front pipe. You can kind of see here where it connects. We're gonna have to disconnect these 3 bolts here, undo these, which are the brackets that hold the down pipe to the front pipe, and then we're gonna have to remove this whole thing and find out what holds it together and undo it so we can kind of feed it through and go to the back. All right guys, you can see I'm underneath the car here. I'm gonna be kind of trying to open up this piece of plastic here that you see with some clips or some bolts, and I'm gonna try to see if I can have access, a little bit better access to where the front pipe connects to the mid pipe and the exhaust. That way I can remove it and start getting rid of the rubber garments that are holding it together. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove these, looks like 10mm bolts. There's 4 of them down here, so I'm gonna remove them to see if I can kind of pry down the piece of plastic so I can have better access to the front pipe connections. Okay, so I'm just gonna get here with my wrench, 10mm bolt. I believe that's what it is. It is. Okay, and we just kind of, looks like they're very easy to take off. Just go in. Okay, there's one down here as well. Okay. Okay, there's 2 more. Okay, so I'm going to, there's 1. Okay, here's the second. Okay, and then there's 2 more on the other side that I'll take off. All right guys, we're here at the back part. You can see there that there's 1 bolt down there, 1 over there, 1 up there. Those are the last 3 connecting the front pipe to the mid pipe. So I'm gonna undo those with the impact gun, and hopefully that will be easy. We'll get rid of the rubber garment. I'll show you that last, and then we'll be able to remove the front pipe. Oh, okay. This little guy was really hard to get out. You have to find the right spot underneath those little plastic cover that you have to remove. This is basically what holds the rubber garment that holds the front pipe in place. So now that I've removed this, I can go ahead and remove the front pipe. So let me just get to the front of the car. I'm going to show you removing the front pipe, and then I'll show you a comparison of the new front pipe versus the old front pipe and how much bigger the new one is, and create more airflow. So let me just go do that. Okay. All right, guys. This is the OEM front pipe. This is how it goes. Connects to the down pipe here. This part connects to the mid pipe, which goes down to the exhaust, and the rubber garment, which I showed you earlier, it goes here, and there's a little heat shield. Now you can see this, you know, it's not thick, you know, not a lot of airflow goes in it. Now what we're gonna install is this PRL front pipe upgrade, which you can clearly see is a lot bigger, it's a lot thicker. It's gonna go like this. It's gonna create a lot of airflow. Eventually when I get my downpipe and the exhaust, it's just gonna create so much more airflow. It's gonna sound better, it's gonna run better. So stay tuned, I'm gonna install this bad boy right now. All right guys, so I'm underneath the car here. I'm getting ready to install the new pipe. And what you wanna do is you wanna just, you know, it's a lot thicker, so you have to find the right way to kind of maneuver it in there. You kind of have to twist it and turn it until it fits. So that's kind of what we're gonna be doing here. All right guys, I'm underneath the car here. Now the last thing is to connect the front pipe to the down pipe. Now there's a little connections here, the 3 bolts. I'm just gonna put them in there, connect them, and that should be able to put the metal plate here, and then we're gonna be done. All right guys, I'm underneath here. I'm installing the new front pipe. Now, make sure when you connect stuff that you add in, there's a little extra garment that the PRL gives you. You want to make sure you include that when you're installing here, because it's gonna meld in with the new front pipe, so it creates a nice seal. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the screw here, and then I'm putting it from the back. See if I can do it one-handed here, close from the back. Oh, it's a little bit hard. You can kind of see it poking its head out there. Close. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see it's poked through. And then I'm gonna add the nut here on this side, and then that's what I'm gonna use to torque. I'm gonna use the impact gun to torque it, so that way it actually gets tight. And then there's one more up there that I gotta do. So I'll be right back. All right guys, and there we go. We finally got it all installed. Got the 3 bolts on. Everything looks good. There's the rubber garment there. That fit perfectly just fine. It took a little finagling to get it to fit all the way through, but we are all set here. All I need to do is put the metal plate that goes, you know, to cover all this up, and we should be done. All right guys, that was a long install, but we're finally done. The front pipe is installed on my 22 Honda Civic Si. I had a great time installing it. You know, I got some more plans in the way. We got a down pipe potentially coming, an intercooler, a full exhaust system. You know, all this stuff takes time and money. So we're gonna be waiting a little bit, but hopefully you enjoyed the video and listen to what it sounds like with a new front pipe.